Zay Gilly. Mr. Nis. Alright, let me send this link out. First is crazy. Bro is locked in. I'm about to start rapping on these beats, bro. Niz, I can hear you rapping right now. Hunter, what's up, bro? What's up, George? I'm gonna let some people get in here, then we'll get it going. I held that trade until my initial profit target would have been almost. That's crazy. PTs are, you gotta understand the market condition you're in. If we're in an expanding market, you can kind of hold like that and trail the stop, but there's always going to be trades like that. I'm cool with my 2R. I would argue these type of market conditions, I'm not trying to hold for those type of trades personally. Mainly just get my 2R and dip. All right, let me post this on Instagram. It's not expanding, so I didn't. Yeah, exactly. Wisdom, what's up, bro? Yo, that thing you tagged me was so funny. Yeah, a lot of people steal the threads. That made me laugh for real. I was genuinely laughing when he put his watermark over it. Yeah. It's so funny to me. He's like, let me take the graphics. Let me take this dude's graphics, say they're mine, and let me put the watermark on it just so people don't do the exact same thing to me. That's insane work. The audacity is crazy. I commented on the post. I said, nice graphics, where'd you get them? And he just didn't respond. What's up, money loading? Money is indeed loading, bro. Money is indeed loading. What's up? What's up? What's up? Claudia, what's up? How's it going? You told Chat GPT to change the color. I didn't even notice that. The watermark thing made me laugh for real. Usually they'll steal them and post them on Instagram, and then I just ask them to tag me. Like, I'm fine with people using the graphics if they just tag me. But my buddy Cactus does the graphics work, so if you guys need graphic work, hit up Cactus. He's a good dude. I don't know if he's in here right now, but shout out to Cactus. Love from India, that's fire. I know some Joyce, I don't know if Joyce is in here. Joyce was asking me about daily bias, so I was gonna go over daily bias a little bit in the stream. All right, let's just see if we can get a couple more people in here, then I'll get it going. Dun, dun, dun. All right, what we got? Happy Father's Day, by the way. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Oh, wake up. How's my day? My day's good. It's still early in the day for me. It's 12 p.m. right now, so I still got a lot of my day left, but it's been good. All right, let me turn this down. We'll get it going. Short time frame entry. Can you explain short time frame entry and fair value gap and liquidity? Yeah, honestly, the deeper you get into it, the more you realize the entry isn't that important. What matters is the EV on every trade that you take. I feel like this song plays every stream. Whatever entry model you want to use, whether that's order flow flip, you know, the entry that I like to use for value gaps, whether that's change in state of delivery, I also use that. You can use inverse for value gaps. All these things, they all work. You just need positive EV. You need to wait for the order flow to change the trend, essentially. As long as you're getting proper confirmation, the entry doesn't really matter. And it just comes down to if you want more confirmation or less. In some plays, in my opinion, this is where it gets discretionary, but some plays, I want more confirmation. And I'll wait for a fair value gap. And some plays have a super nice reaction, and I'm like, okay, I don't need as much confirmation. What's up? What's up? What's up? James Joseph, Amit. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Amit, what's up, bro? All right. Let's pull up the economic calendar. Let's do it. Keep dropping bombshells. I'll keep dropping banger videos. I got you. Nothing but straight free value for you guys. For the people that want to apply themselves, learn. It's all going to be put out there. Okay. So you guys know the drill. Walk through the economic calendar before every week. I really don't look at the charts on Saturdays, and the only time I look at charts on Sundays is really right now. You can use the weekends to review journaling. I did a review session with my buddy Zay yesterday, a little bit. So use the weekends to review, decompress, and then if you want to do a forecast or just kind of get a glimpse at things on Sunday like I do, it's a good thing to do. So we start by looking at the economic calendar, getting a feel for what days are going to be volatile, what days are going to have a lack of volatility, because as intraday traders and even swing traders, you need volatility on your side to push price in the direction it wants to go, right? If price has no energy to move, then you can't realize your gains, right? We're trying to buy low and sell high and buy low. Price needs to have the energy to get where it wants to go. So Monday, we have yen red folder. I'm immediately noticing this is a Monday without US dollar news because I mainly trade USD correlated assets. My mind is immediately saying, hey, there's no USD red folder on this Monday, which we know inherently makes that a lower probability day. Like I always say, I'm still open to trading on this day, but I'm inherently skeptical. I'm going into the session on Monday with no news and saying, okay, there's a high likelihood that we consolidate today and have a lethargic price action. So I'm going in with this almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a baked in skepticism around price. I'm just going in, I'm like, okay, price needs to prove to me that it wants to move today for me to trade Harmony. So we have yen. If you trade yen pairs, they might have some volatility on Monday because they have that red folder injection. Tentative, I think that means they don't know the exact time that it could drop whenever. So Tuesday we have yen red folder again, and then US dollar red folder. There's a ton of stuff going on in the world. You could be in trades and breaking news or statements could drop and could just really affect the markets. So it's something to note as well. So yen and US dollar on Tuesday, no US dollar on Monday, makes it lower probability and I'm more skeptical. Wednesday we have pound, US dollar, and we have FOMC on Wednesday. So this is a FOMC week. Price may want to hold up for FOMC. It tends to hold up for these big three news drivers like that. So we do have that FOMC at 2 p.m. Wednesday. Thursday, we have a US dollar bank holiday, so I don't want to really be trading Thursday on a bank holiday. That's low probability. Price is not going to want to move. And then Friday, we have no red folder. So we'll see how it goes. Big news, the biggest news driver this week is the FOMC. Right, this is our rate statement in the press conference. So important to note, that will be Wednesday. Big three news driver, but good amount of news this week. So I'm gonna start with bonds, and we'll work through and look at dollar. You guys always hear me talk about major liquidity levels and how I'm gauging the reaction. Right, when we took out this major sell side, this is a monthly sell side. This monthly swing low, that is a major order pairing objective. I'm always gauging the reactions at these levels, and you can see how we get that wick in respect of that level, right? So that made me biased. That made me bullish biased. Jeez. At the time, towards these highs. Now we traded into this bearish fair value gap, as well as this weekly order block and fair value gap here, the overlapping area. We're getting a bit of a reaction in wick. So from here, I'm really leaning on the daily and 4 hour to get a direction here. Do we want to respect this and move lower and target the previous week low like this? Well, the daily and 4 hour are going to, be my compass. It's still bullish, but it's having a very strong reaction at these highs. And the 4 hour is flipped. This looks quite bearish on bonds to me. We do want to see this 4-hour leg hold to validate that thesis, right? So if this 4-hour leg fails, then my bearish thesis is being invalidated by this price action, right? So more information can change my outlooks. I'll say things on Sunday and have a direction I'm looking for on Sunday, but as the week prints and more information comes, I'm flipping that bias. It's important to understand I'm not marrying these forecasts. I create theses, they have invalidations, and then they have validations, right? So a validation of this bearish thesis on bonds would be follow through on this 4-hour leg, right? So we offer fair value, we flip, and we move lower. And then I'd be looking for these lows. So this should be, if we're bearish, the start of a 4-hour sell model and bearish order flow. That's our change in state. We've received order flow flips as well. So this is a change in that trend. So when I say you can make really any entry work, that's kind of what I mean. Whatever stands out to you. If the gaps stand out to you, trade the gaps. If the order blocks that get created stand out to you, trade the order blocks. If you like inversions, use inversions. The win rate, the edge, it's about framing a narrative, and it's about putting yourself in high probability trade ideas at the right times. All those things. It's not just taking an entry when you can go into these charts and just take any change in the order flow. You're not going to have a high win rate. That's not edge. So looks quite bearish on bonds to me, but I need to see the 4-hour price leg validate that. So this current leg, right? I only care about the most recent swing high and swing low. Needs to respect the bearish PD raise and begin to print lower. Validate that bearish bonds thesis. I moved to dollar. Dollar also looks quite bearish if I remember. We had that weekly major order pairing objective being swept. The daily trades into the internal area here, this overlapping area, hits it to the tick. We've gotten a nice wick lower, a respect candle. And if we look at the 1-hour order flow, this wick, inside this wick is going to be a flip on the 1-hour, right? When we see a large wick of respect on the lower time frames, you're going to see a flip in order flow with momentum and most likely fair value gaps. So if we drop into something like the 1-hour, right, we have these clear bearish fair value gaps and that flip in order flow. This is our order block, change state of delivery, right? This is our order flow flip, is what I like to call it, or just simply a fair value gap that's created. I like to call this the order flow flip because it makes sense to my brain, right? If you want to just call it a fair value gap that's created out of the key level, that's fine. If you want to, the terminology, people get too, I don't want to go on a rant here, but people get too obsessed with the terminology. The reality is price is changing from a bullish order flow state, an uptrend at a key level with a strong bearish reaction. And that gives us confirmation that this wants to move lower. So whatever you subscribe to, whether it's IFVG, order flow flip, ST, change in state of delivery, whatever else under the sun, really, the reality is it's not going to move the needle. Whatever resonates with you, whatever your eye goes to, you should use as your entry. But the win rate, the edge, it's going to come from your narrative and your ability to understand draws on liquidity. So that's my rant. What do you think about the Dixie 4-hour gap? Let's check it out. So this 4-hour gap, I'm assuming you're talking about, in my opinion, was already used, stung into here to propel price into that daily internal. And so I would actually be looking for this 4-hour gap to now fail. I would look for this to get invalidated because for me, my draw is now this sell side here. So I'm expecting this to have already been used for how I view price. This is no longer a fresh fair value gap. And I'm actually looking for it to fail and be invalidated. We haven't got the closing below that low. Which low? This low, that would be your market structure shift, right? If you subscribe to that. We've already gotten the close below this. opening price. So that's our change in state of delivery. We haven't got, oh wait, I'm on replay. What am I doing? So we've already gotten our change in state of delivery. We've already gotten our order flow flip. That's more than enough confirmation for me to see this order flow flip. Right, this is a change in the order flow for me. So I'm looking at a bearish dollar, and I want to see validation of this bearish thesis in respect of this leg. So I want to see this now respect the fair value and print a new leg lower. Ideally, new gaps lower. Right, so we ideally want to see some bearish momentum here. Price offered fair value on the 1 hour. Now we want to see it seek this liquidity, this sell side, and create a new leg lower. So, bearish dollar as well, which is interesting. S&P 500. We are failing to offer fair value on the monthly. Closed above that bearish gap. Right, this is also your inversion. How some people see it, whatever you subscribe to. To me, I see this as failing to offer fair value. Seek opposing liquidity. Yeah, I'll look at pound. I got you. I'll get there. Not much to pull from on the weekly. We do have this very small imbalance on the weekly. We have a lot of sell side being built up. A lot of sell side being built up. If you look at the daily weekly, a lot of sell side being built up in here. But as of right now, we're sweeping that daily low. And because this is bullish order flow, weekly, monthly, daily, bullish order flow, we submit to that trend. I'm holding this bullish bias, right? We're wicking and respecting that. This wick on the daily is going to be 1 hour fair value gaps to the upside, momentum, a bullish 1 hour order flow, right? So we can see this flip of order flow here. We've gotten some gaps to the upside. We need to read this 1 hour order flow as a compass, because right here, this has actually created a bearish gap now. So we need to really be reading, engaging that 1 hour order flow. There is a 4 hour gap as well that we are offering fair value at and respecting. So ideally, I would favor longs towards this external high, and I want to see higher prices on S&P. So I'm bullish on the S&P. I want to see the 1 hour invalidate this bearish gap, and I want to see that 4 hour gap hold. Seek this external. So we're submitting to that order flow and viewing this as a stop hunt. Now, if we had a different close on the daily like this, it'd be another story, right? I'd be approaching this quite different. But because we've gotten that wick and respect, that is still a discount rate. That's still an area where we can head higher from. And we're just viewing this as a stop hunt to continue higher. So I'm holding that bullish bias as of right now, expecting this to fall through to the upside and seek external, because we've now offered fair value on the 4 hour. There's no reason to go lower at this point for anything if we're going higher. Same logic on the NASDAQ. It should look quite similar. Weekly gap down here that we could reach for, but right now I don't have enough confirmation to reach for this. I'm not calling a top. I need to see a strong shift in order flow for me to actually want to look at this as a draw. So as of right now, I'm still submitting to the bullish order flow. I was gonna say there's a bullish SMT, but it looks like we took that low. 21471, 21471. Same thing on NASDAQ. Doing that as a stop hunt to continue higher. There is no 4 hour bullish gap there. Pretty strong bearish candle. And 1 hour bearish order flow. As of right now, well, it's 50-50 order flow with that bearish gap. We ultimately want to see that this get invalidated and print higher for us to hold that bullish bias. We want to see this fail. And the 1 hour get back in line with bulls. Right? Bullish. Pretty sure YM and Russell look quite bearish, if I remember correctly. We have that monthly internal being respected. That's quite bearish. That monthly looks pretty bearish to me. We stung in, had a respect, This monthly candle sweeping the previous month high. Pretty strong reaction there from the previous month high. Dow looks, I'm not gonna lie, Dow is looking pretty bearish. And then we have all these engineered highs in here. I mean lows. We have all these engineered lows in here. I'm not ready to say lower, but Dow is looking bearish. We have all these lows, right? So we'll have to see. And this is going to be one of those perfect examples of, I may be looking bullish on S&P on a Sunday like today, but if I get more information and things start to flip, for example, I can give you a very clear example of that. If we fail this leg on the 4 hour, if we actually respect this and move lower on the 1 hour, I'm not getting my bullish thesis validated. And so I'm going to have to flip my bias and realign. So we'll have to just see how things go. A bit more 50-50. YM looks quite bearish. Right, there is a lot of stuff going on with Israel and Iran. A lot of conflict. A lot of things coming out. Missiles flying, unfortunately. I pray for anyone that's affected by that. But the reality is we just kind of have to react to whatever the market gives. Exactly. I'll react to the market gives. Exactly. So, do we respect this 1 hour leg and continue lower? If that's the case, our bullish thesis is invalidated and we need to realign. So this could very quickly change, and I would honestly put this on the wait list. The more I'm seeing YM and other information, I'll throw it on the wait list. Could be bullish. Need to see the 1 hour flip back bullish to validate that thesis in the 4 hour respect. But if we just continue lower and we actually respect this leg here, not a good sign for longs. So pretty 50-50 now that I've looked at YM and kind of give it a little more thought. That 1 hour is going to be very telling, and that's essentially going to be my compass going into the week. I'm very, very fluid with bias. I'm not marrying the ideas. I'm flowing with whatever the market gives. Exactly, Guy said, or G. Hopefully it's G. Very bearish daily candle. That is a strong move. How many points is that? That's a 2% drop. Sheesh. 2% drop is crazy. G1. I got you. G1. Yeah, YM looks pretty bearish. Not gonna lie. So we'll have to see and just react. Indices for me, I'm gonna have them on the wait list and kind of just see what happens here. Russell as well, sweeping previous month high. Inside the monthly internal. Russell and Dow might be telling the story early here. They really might. We're gonna have to see. It would not surprise me. I mean, these markets have been just a slow grind to the upside. What they tend to do here is they slow grind like that. They engineer lows and then they just drop it. This is how the markets print. Right? Go into the charts. Start to watch for these signatures in price. You'll see exactly what I mean. Lows and highs like this, they grind them up. Failure swings, they get engineered. Then they drop, cut through like butter. Right? Low resistance liquidity. So that being said, Russell and Dow could be telling a story. I need more information. I'm very 50-50 on indices. 4 hours bearish. Russell and Dow look quite bearish to me, personally. But we'll just have to see. Again, these lows, we do have bullish order flow, monthly, weekly, daily, so 50-50 for me on indices. I said I was bearish dollar, so looking for higher on euro, pound, anything XXX USD. Weekly major order pairing objective. We talked about how this was our weekly internal, a high probability trading environment. Daily. We actually didn't tag that daily gap, which was interesting to me the other day. Going to have to read the 4 hour and 1 hour order flow here as well. But if I'm bearish dollar and dollar continues lower, I'm going to be bullish on euro pound. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about this. Weekly sweeping that high, daily. We do have that internal still. Need to just react to the 4 hour, 1 hour. Same thing. Really waitlist. Gonna be the same thing on pound here. There's not much to pull from it other than I'm bearish dollar. So I should be bullish EUGU. We want to trade the relatively stronger of the two. We do have the daily gap as well here. Or that's a weekly gap, sorry. We have the weekly gap down here on pound, but it doesn't look like we're reaching for it just yet. We want to see the 4 hour flip and reach lower for that. But right now, a bearish dollar doesn't really work well with that thesis. So it's really contingent on the direction of dollar. A lot of these assets right now, I just need more information on throughout the week to be able to flow with where it's going. Reading the 4 hour and 1 hour as the compass timeframes is very, very key. And then it's guiding us to our draws. Australian dollar. No gaps on the monthly. We're closing above this bearish gap right here. Weekly. Yeah, we talked about how all these lows are getting engineered. Like if we start to get a bullish US dollar, these lows are going to get fried. I mean, these, yeah, I mean, come on. It's just cooking. Like that's very, very feasible if we can get a bullish push on dollar. But right now, dollar looks bearish to me, so. Bearish gap tag, weekly. Slow grind higher, same thing, all these lows. Really have my eyes. Not much to say about majors. I don't love where they're at right now. Bearish dollar aligns with this. I like USD CAD to reach for this sell side low here, and bearish dollar would align with that. So if we get validation of the lower dollar, we'll look for USD Canadian dollar to reach for these lows, and I actually like shorts to follow through here. This looks nice. This looks quite good. A lot of expansion and movement. Nifty, I'll look at Nifty. What's the exact ticker for the future? Is it just Nifty? That's India stock market, right? They're the monthly external low. Weekly external low. Do we have a daily gap? We do have a daily gap cooking. I like this as well. I like the USD XXX right now. They look good for lower if we have bearish dollar. Of course, we need bearish dollar to coincide with that trade idea, but this looks pretty good as well. USD yen. USD yen. Weekly chop consolidation. Not as willing. Like if you look at Swiss franc and Canadian dollar, they're much more willing to move lower right now. I prefer these over yen. Monthly buy side sweep, weekly closing above this gap. That gap was already used before, so I wouldn't have been looking to trade off that. Daily flipping order flow, bullish gaps to the upside. Bum, 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 bum. Four hour kind of just consolidating here. Euro pound, all I would use Euro pound for, especially in the past when I was leaning on trading more Forex, was just gauging relative strength, right? If we're printing on Euro higher, we know that Euro is stronger than pound. Versus if we're very bearish on Euro pound and it's clearly selling off, we know Euro is weaker. So when I'm trading 66B futures, I like to look at Euro GBP. Same thing with Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. These two crosses are really good for gauging relative strength. Like if you're looking at Euro USD and Pound USD and it's not that clear, look at Euro GBP for relative strength. Monthly low sweep, weekly internal tag. Nice weekly context to these lows. Did the 4-hour flip. It should have with that wick. Yeah, pretty ugly flip here. Don't really like this. This PA is really, really ugly. It's a lot of consolidation. This is why we don't trade AUD, NZD, or Euro Pound personally. I mean, just look at the consolidations they go through. It's just good for relative strength and weakness. AUD, USD. I didn't really have much to say about it in terms of trading it. All these lows look so juicy to go, but right now dollar doesn't agree with that. Like if I'm bearish dollar, then looking for bearish AUD USD doesn't make sense. So I would need to see a bullish dollar, and once we get a pretty bullish dollar, these lows should get fried. I don't know when that'll be. Right now it's just engineering more, but whenever we get bullish dollar, that should play. Yeah, AUD NZD looks trash. Buy side, weekly probably setting up. Okay, pretty strong wick there on crude oil. Crude oil is most likely very in play with all this stuff with war. Lots of movement on oil. Four-hour gap to the upside being respected still. Really looks like it should still want these highs, this buy side high. Lots of movement on oil, looking for the buy side draw. Bullish on oil. Oil should be a big mover. Weekly internal play, looking for these highs. All-time highs draw on gold. Looks very bullish as well. Oil and gold are looking like quite bullish. We have these highs as well. This becomes our area for value if there's a 4-hour gap through it, which there is. It looks like we're already respecting that right now. I really just want to see new gaps to the upside at this point. I want to see this print new highs. The only other thing we could do is consolidate on this candle and then set up this daily gap to head higher off of. But I'm bullish on gold, looking for all-time highs. So we could either see that daily candle print, something like this. Then we move higher. Or we can just expand up the 4-hour and not worry about that. And we'll just have to read the order flow to see. Bullish gold, bullish crude oil, silver. Silver's been moving quite different from gold lately. Major highs taken, weekly gap being set up. Yeah, metals look bullish. Metals look bullish for sure. We have this whole weekly gap now to expand off of. Daily, this looks like it wants to reach lower first for this. Yeah, metals look very bullish to me. Bitcoin has been quite bullish as well. There was a swing that looked really nice on Bitcoin, and then the war news just fried it. Weekly internal tag was still looking at higher. Wow, that's a very bearish flip on. Yeah, I was looking at this swing on Bitcoin at the time, and then the war news just fried it. I'm not even swinging right now, but yeah, right here. It would have been a break-even trade. It'd be BE on this candle just because these market conditions are so bad. But that was the daily internal tag. There was SM2 with Ethereum, so that's daily to 1-hour harmony. Change in state. Actually, sorry, this is a change in state. This series of down close candles into the daily gap is what I was looking at as the change in state. And would it be eat it right in here when we're about halfway? But that's a major daily flip on Bitcoin. That is a major daily flip. We're inversing that gap, right? Failing to offer fair value from here. Looks quite bearish on the daily. Quite bearish. We'll have to see how we react. I'm in this OB, but we may want to go reach for these lows. Quite a bearish reaction there. Now you have this daily bearish gap. Looks like we've already tagged that. 4 hour just kind of consolidating. Yeah, that looks quite bearish, honestly. Ethereum's in the monthly internal as well. Yeah, things look like, this looks like Russell and YM. Look at that. Look at Russell and then look at Ethereum. Looks pretty similar with the monthly internal and then the previous candle sweep. Pretty interesting. All these daily lows. Look at this. Daily gap down here. Yeah, this looks way better. Look at all these daily lows, weekly lows. Looks pretty bearish. Weekly gap down there. Right here. Quite bearish. So we'll see on indices. But Ethereum and Bitcoin look pretty bearish. Is this it? Which one is it? I think it's this one. Okay, we set these lows, weekly flipped, I'm assuming. Yeah, weekly flip, bullish order flow. Consolidation on the weekly. You can see this range we're in. Very rangy price action on Nifty right now on the weekly, right? Sweeping highs and lows. Daily is going to look like straight consolidation. Not ideal. We had a large gap down sweeping these lows. We have a big bearish imbalance in here that we can potentially reach for. And then from there, you want to be gauging the reaction from in here. Once we tag this level, do we flip on the 1 hour from here? Then you'll look for these lows. Or do we start to invalidate this with bullish order flow? Right now, you're just in a consolidation. So you're really just navigating chop. This low sweep should cause this retracement to in here now. But pretty ugly, to be honest, in terms of just chop, the gap down. That's a big imbalance that we should reach for. And then from there, you just have to gauge the 4 hour and 1 hour order flow. Not this one. Which one? That was the second one. Which one? This is the index. The second one is the one I was just on. Or are you talking about this one? Nah, that's definitely not it. That was the one I was on, bro. I was on this one. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, I'd be looking. Yeah, that's the one I was already on. This is the daily low sweep. This is the gap imbalance. I'd be looking at these as the magnet, right? These is the draw right now. And then I'm gauging the reaction from here. That's really all I would have to say about this right now. Looking at this imbalance to be the target. And then from there, gauging the 1 hour as my compass from in here. Do we flip on the 1 hour once we tag this imbalance? Or do we continue with bullish order flow and reach for the highs? Because right now we're just in a consolidation. So you're just navigating chop. So you're really just looking for reactions at the externals of ranges. Here, here, here. If we print higher, these externals are key areas where you're looking to navigate spec reactions from, because we're just in that weekly chop. So that's how I'd be approaching Nifty. The indices are in a really interesting spot, in my opinion, where I just need more information. The monthly closed above. But if you look at Russell and Dow, they look quite bearish. And we have all these engineered lows. I could see them just absolutely run these lows, would not surprise me. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. I was looking at my phone for a second. Dun, 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 dun. So we'll see how it goes. I really need more information on indices. I want to see how the 4 hour and 1 hour react, but that's pretty much it for the forecast. Money loading. I'll see you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the Discord. If you want to check out the Academy, go to tradingpatiently.com. You can live trade with me for free. 7-day free trial to the Academy. After the free trial, you get access to the full course I made. Everything about how I view price, liquidity, fair value, all these things. A very simplified approach that will give you edge in these markets. You guys see me follow these moves in price every day, every week, right? So everything runs through that. If you want to check it out, click the link at the top left. Well, you have to type it in, but tradingpatiently.com. And yeah, if you guys get prop evals or anything like that, check out the code I have. It's patiently. But yeah, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Not just the dads, but shout out to the dads, man. Shout out to my dad too. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the day with the family. Enjoy the day with your dads if you're with them. And yeah, appreciate you guys. What's up, Spectre? We're just finishing up here. If you want to watch it back, but yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys.